Hello friend, should you start a YouTube channel for your business? Well, let's get into it, shall we? Social reach is falling. The feed is full of AI content. With all this noise in the media, you might be thinking, should you start a YouTube channel? My name is Pat. I've been helping people with their marketing for about 12 years now. First, consulting for sub $30 million companies, and now specifically in the coaching and consulting space. My specialty is generating inbound lead flow. Now, trends come and go. And while YouTube is by no means a trend, with everything else shifting in the marketing space, I've been fielding a lot of questions about YouTube. Now, this is still a small channel. So if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I think my perspective is going to give you some real life insight of what it's really like. First up, starting a YouTube channel is a hell of a lot easier than you really think. We build it up in our mind to be this big thing. We have this expectation of what we want it to be. But the reality is, I look back, I probably could have started easily a year or two earlier, maybe even sooner. But what held me back was this expectation of how the quality, the level I wanted to be able to deliver stuff at. See, what you don't realize is when you start a brand new channel, you don't have any followers. So no one really cares what your videos are like. So you can essentially do whatever you want. You can test stuff, you can experiment, and until you start to get good, the algorithm won't really show that many people. So it's a blessing in disguise to start with an account with zero, because as you get better, so will the better quality people become attracted to you. And on top of that, you have the added benefit of stuff being able to really get some traction. So if you be consistent in the early stages, the algorithm will start to understand who you are and what kind of people your content is for, and will start to find those people, and it will start to show people your content. It works a little bit different than the rest of social media algorithms. Instead of just pushing your content to people and seeing what sticks, YouTube's trying to find people who it thinks are going to like the content. So it works very differently. So it's a lot easier than you think. The second thing I would like to share is it's more challenging than you could possibly have imagined in different ways. Let me explain a little bit. So when I first started making videos for YouTube, I had all these different things I wanted to share. So content itself wasn't really the problem. Maybe like yourself, you know what you're going to share things about. But what I realized is the challenge of being consistent is real. The challenge of putting things together and getting it out there and having to deal with your ego being shattered because no one wants to watch your stuff, that's real. That's quite the challenge. And being consistent enough in the face of all of that to just keep pushing through, that's really quite a challenge. Now, if you understand the fact that you need to take your ego out of it because you've got a long-term play here, then you're going to be okay, because pretty soon you'll get the hang of it. You'll start to understand packaging, in other words, the title and the thumbnail, and you'll start to get the hang of it, and it becomes quite addictive. Which brings up number 3, and that is it is a long-term play. Putting a YouTube channel together is not something that you're going to be able to just jump in and turn on, like, say, for example, ads. If you want instant results, you're going to have to do some outreach or maybe jump into some ads. As a long-term play, I would expect that if you don't think you can keep putting out content for at least 3 months, at least a challenge of 3 months, the first 3 months, to see how you feel at the end of that, then maybe don't start a YouTube channel. But if you think, yeah, I could handle 3 months, when you get to that 3-month period, you can make a decision whether you want to keep going again for another 3 months. For myself, I got to 3 months, decided I'd do another 6 months, and now I'm coming up on 11 months, and I feel like I'm only just getting stuck into it, and it's becoming more and more fun. And while it is a long play, I haven't been monetized yet, but that doesn't really matter. I've already had numerous clients who have found me specifically through YouTube, have binged a bunch of stuff and wanted to reach out and work with me. And that's an extra channel, not concluding the rest of the things that are happening in my business. So that's just a little bit of insight. It is a long play, but provided you got a few things set up correctly, it starts to work kind of soon. Number 4, if you don't like video, then stick to written content, because you need to persevere to get good at this. If you've got videos already stacked up and you just think, you know what, I've got 30 or so videos that I want to put up on YouTube, that's a great way to get started, because you won't have to deal with the growing pains initially, and you can feed the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, some information. But if you just don't like video, you don't like making videos, then maybe not doing this, because if you think you have to do it for a business reason, I would stick to writing. Start a Substack. Push out content on Substack. And if you're a good writer, or if you like that a lot more, you're going to be a lot more consistent there. Number 5, and this is to do with your ego, the act of making and publishing videos it makes you better when you make more videos. So you need to be able to handle the idea of being crap at the beginning. If you can handle being crap at the beginning, at the job of making videos, at when you see what you're doing, you're like, it's not good enough, and you just simply put this stuff together and get it out there anyway. If you can handle that with your ego, I think you're going to be okay. And you're probably going to be able to build something and attract some followers and get some leads and get some clients. If you're not able to do that, and if you're the kind of person that everything needs to be perfect before the rest of the world sees it, I think you're going to struggle building a YouTube channel. So let's talk specifically about business. Once you've established your YouTube channel and you've found a little bit of a rhythm and you're starting to get some followers, some new subscribers, maybe a couple of hundred, and you're starting to understand how the process works, you've found your rhythm, you're creating content on the regular, you can seasonally incorporate your offers. And as you do that, there will be new people who will come into your network from all kinds of interesting places outside of your current sphere of influence. That's a really cool benefit. As I said, I've already got some clients that never would have found me if it wasn't for YouTube. Number 7 here, I've got a note saying that if you're also creating content on other platforms, I've noticed that creating content for YouTube, it's forced me to distill my idea down to something that I can communicate, for example, in this video here. And I've got my notes, and it's going to make, well, it's already made. I've already made some social content about this exact piece here because I've already been thinking about it. I've been processing it, I've been trying to figure out what's the point here. And it's made other content that I've been able to make a lot easier without really thinking that hard about it. And that's a major benefit. So from this one piece, I'm not talking about chopping the video up and putting it in other places. You can do that if you want, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm just simply saying that thinking about the concept of should you make a YouTube channel for your business has made me realize there's plenty of other talking points that can be easily spoken about in different places on the internet. And so creating other social content is a hell of a lot easier when you've already distilled your ideas down succinctly. You can tell deeper stories. You can share in a 15-minute video a hell of a lot more than just trying to get someone to read a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post or a Substack article if you're not that good of a writer. So there's a major benefit there. And then let's say you've got an email list that you want to start communicating with. There's nothing stopping you from simply sending an email out 2 or 3 weeks after your video is published on YouTube, and have a bit of a lag time, 2 or 3 weeks. Let the YouTube algorithm do its thing first. I don't recommend sending it immediately. But you could bring up the topic or a talking point or some comments that were made on that video and speak about them in an email and just simply link back out to it. So you can keep people moving from place to place around your audience so you can start cross-pollinating and so you don't have everybody stuck in just one place. I've found that to be incredibly useful. So I no longer have just people on Facebook who follow me. Those people have been able to find my newsletter. They've been able to get onto my email list, and some of them are also following me on YouTube. So if either of those channels go down, it's okay because the people are still in my sphere of influence. And that's an incredible benefit. As I said, this is a long game. If you think about that and you fast forward that down the road, 6 months, 12 months, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, if you think about that and the compounding effect of people coming in from all different places, stumbling across my information from all different places, you can see the audience, the network effect growing quite quickly and in a stable way. Number 9, I've already kind of mentioned, if you have a lot of videos already made somewhere else, then you can easily start uploading them 1 a day to YouTube. That way you can focus on titles and thumbnails. You can learn about that stuff while you're just uploading content. By the time you've uploaded all your content, you get to a point when you don't have any more content left, but you've already got this skill, you've already got this cadence, and you've already got an audience on YouTube, people who have decided to follow you because they see what you're doing and they want to have more. That would be a great way to start. Speaking about thumbnails and titles, you're going to have to learn about packaging. So if this type of thing interests you, this whole idea of distilling an idea down to a title and a thumbnail to get people to click, to get people to be able to at least see the first 30 seconds of your video, if that's interesting to you, then you're going to love YouTube. If that idea makes you shudder, then perhaps you're not going to really like YouTube. Now, I've saved number 11 for people who have stuck around. So if that's you, this is probably my favorite one. When someone has seen you on YouTube and they've watched a few of your videos, you will gain more credibility for some reason faster than on social. So YouTube long form has this effect, and people will come into your world. They might request a call with you. You might have that introduction call to see if it's going to make sense to work with each other. And you will immediately tell, because they'll tell you, I've watched your videos. It's great to actually talk to you. And you won't have to do a lot of selling because They'll have already understood so much about you already. They've probably binged your content. They understand your point of view. They get your worldview. They probably agree with your ethics and your morals. They just make way better clients. So there you go. Now, most of these kind of videos that you might see, like this one, titled the same as this, they're all aimed at just creators in general. I wanted to talk directly to you, the business owner. Do you have any questions? I'd love to hear them in the comments section. Now, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or you've started one, but you're not quite moving along as fast as you would like, I think you're going to love this next video. It's about how I film myself for YouTube while traveling full time. I'll see you in the next video.